So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology. iPhone 11 Pro, is this phone worth it in 2021? By the end of this video, we're gonna find that out. So this phone does have a 5.8-inch Super Retina XDR display. Heck, this phone even gave you a triple 12-megapixel camera capable up to 4K at 60p. This phone came with an Apple A13 Bionic chipset, 4 gigs of RAM, and a 3046 milliamp hour battery inside the body of the 11 Pro, so definitely a sizable battery for this size of a device. Now, for the iPhone 11 Pro, you can get this in 4 different colors. You can get the gold, the silver, space gray, or midnight green. The gold looks pretty neat, but I think the midnight green was the best color of this model year. But you could get in several different colors. The phone also launched at around $999. The phone now goes for the mid sevens, and you might even be able to find a better deal. Some people trying to get rid of their old phones would just be like, hey man, you want this thing, I'll give it to you for $600. So depending on where you look, you may be able to get it even cheaper. So let us know your story if you picked up an 11 Pro, what price you got it for, if you got it after the launch, like in the past month or so. This phone weighs 188 grams, so it's not the lightest phone, but it's not super heavy either, but it does have some weight to it. So I would say a pretty average weight, but more weighty than, you know, you'll find it like a 12 mini, something like that. Also, this phone does come in at 8.1 millimeters thick, so it's not the thinnest iPhone ever. Definitely has a little bit of girth to it. And you also will notice that this phone does have IP68 dust and water resistance, so if you get a little splashing on it, nothing's gonna go wrong with your iPhone 11 Pro. A very overall durable build, and what I really like is that the stainless steel on this phone, you know, just feels very sturdy when using the phone. It feels pretty strong. I know you don't go ahead and bang in your stainless steel like I just did, but go ahead and, you know, just rest assured that the 11 Pro is a super durable pickup if you want to get an iPhone. It also feels pretty comfortable in the hand due to these curved edges. I actually think this feels more comfortable to hold than the all-new 12 Pro because of those squared edges. It does look industrial, looks nice in the 12 Pro, but this one just has this, it just feels really good with these curved edges here on the 11 Pro. Okay guys, so when it comes to the display with the iPhone 11 Pro here, it's excellent. It's basically the same display you get for the iPhone 12 Pro. You can see it gets very bright, 800 nits, and just like yesterday we talked about the iPhone 11's display, that one is kind of one that people are questioning, should I get it or not? But you have no concerns. You should have no concerns with this one because this is Super Retina XDR OLED. It doesn't have 3D touch. It does have more of a haptic press, but this display does feature an impressive 458 pixels per inch versus the 326 on the iPhone 11. Now, most users won't see this unless putting it side by side, but this phone does have a noticeably better display than that device, mostly noticed in the brightness. Also, again, all the iPhones give you these nice comfort features like dark mode, true tone, night shift. But really what I like about it is just the OLED, you know, gives you some nice contrasty colors when watching video. The black bars are a lot darker here on the side, and it's just an overall sharper, just more high quality display. And you can see why Apple did go with the OLED across the lineup with the new iPhone 12s. So definitely consider the 11 Pro if you're looking for an OLED display and you want it cheaper than a 12 Pro, for example. So the iPhone 11 Pro, when it comes to the software, does have its own set of wallpapers here. Also in 14.3, there was some new wallpapers added to the iPhone experience, but it does have the app library like you're used to with the 14 software. Of course, we do have widget support for the iPhone now, so it definitely made the experience nice. And I like having widget support on a 5.8. It just feels a little more compact with a lot of useful features. So a little powerhouse in your pocket here. Not the mini iPhone mini, but definitely still feels pretty usable. It doesn't feel like a massive phone, but having tons of power in the pocket. This phone also should give you support all the way up to about 2024. I feel like that's when I feel like this phone might start to see like no more software support. So even if you buy it now, the 11 Pro will be supported for a long time. Apple keeps its phones up to date, so definitely a thumbs up again in the software department. So when it comes to the performance, if you watched yesterday's video when I talked about how I could barely even notice the difference between the 11 and the 12, the same thing is the experience for the 11 Pro and the iPhone 12 Pro. You can see this thing's clocked at 2.66 gigahertz on an Apple A13 Bionic. That's a 5 nanometer process when it comes to the chip. This also does have 4 gigs of RAM, and the 12 Pro has 6, but in the real world, the only thing I noticed is that maybe the 12 Pro can hold a little bit more applications in the background, but really, day-to-day performance is exceptional for the 11 Pro. It is a Pro phone after all. And the thing is that even if you're doing, professional video editing, I mean, iMovie is not the best app to do pro editing, but if you are doing any type of editing, anything like that, this phone can rip through essentially anything you throw at it. So it really truly is a powerhouse in your pocket, and I have no issues or qualms recommending this in 2021 for performance. This thing is an absolute boss in this respect. Okay, so talking about the camera, triple 12 megapixel cameras on here, capable to 4K 60. We know this, f1.8 aperture on the main lens, so plenty bright, and it does have a night mode. But instead of talking about those cameras, we're gonna go ahead and show you some of the samples. So let's go ahead here in the photos, and I'm gonna show you what this thing is capable of. So you can see just incredible dynamic range on the photo. I mean, it really does a great job of balancing the sky, and even if there's cloudy day, it does a great job with that as well. You can see the detail you can get for the 11 Pro is mind-blowing. It really feels something like what I'm recording on right now, which is a 1-inch Sony camera. Let's go ahead and zoom in. Look at the detail. I mean, it's a phenomenal camera, and even when you're doing video, you can expect phenomenal results. I literally feel like you can start up a YouTube channel with this phone and nobody would complain at all about your quality. You just got to make sure you nail the audio with an external audio source. But overall, I mean, this is really just fantastic. To me, this was the best year of iPhone camera ever. It brought the first time where it matched the front-facing camera, where you can do 4K 60 on the front, and you can match up that high quality video on the rear. So super excited about that, and I'm still excited about that to this day because it was carried over into the 12 Pro. So love the cameras on here, and I think you will too. And talking about audio performance, when we do press play and we raise up the volume, you do get plenty of good sound. The thing is that the 11 Pro to me sounded more full and a little bit better at the high end versus some prior iPhones. So you do have amazing speakers. I mean, I have no complaints here. I didn't really notice a major upgrade with the 12 series when it comes to the speakers. Again, these aren't headphone jack phones. These aren't Android devices, so you do have to use Bluetooth to connect headphones. But other than that, I mean, experience a lot more dynamic. But what's nice about it is that you can sit here and easily enjoy a video out these speakers. They sound incredible, even at the max volume. And the last thing, call quality. Wi-Fi performance was excellent. Wi-Fi 6, but the call quality was pretty good as well. I do have to say though, not having the Qualcomm modems, like I mentioned with the 11 series, didn't have the best 4G LTE performance. I found myself having to, switch to my Samsung when I wanted the best mobile connectivity. This year that improved quite a bit. So what I have to say is that if you guys are in an area, a fringe area where you don't have the best signal strength, I probably can't recommend this to you if you're going to be counting on this as your main phone source. But if you do live in areas that have great reception, or you're with a carrier that has great reception in your area, it's not going to be a problem whether you get the 11, 11 Pro, 11 Pro Max, it should be fine. But keep in mind, you're not getting 5G here. So how important is 5G to you? 5G is not really widespread everywhere, depending on where you're at. And even when you do have it connected, it's still not super great. So it kind of feels like 4G LTE right now. But down the line, this might make a difference. So 11 Pro is not a pick if you do absolutely want 5G right now. So what did we miss out for the 11 Pro? I think it is the Face ID. The Face ID was actually better experience in the 10 and 10S. But the question is, in 2021, we have our final answer here. Should you pick it up? And I think the real question is this or the iPhone 12. And the reason I say that is because if you look for this secondhand, that price point is very close to the iPhone 12. And with that phone, you get a bigger screen. You still get OLED, but again, you get less brightness. You get not a triple camera. I think you get worse battery life as well. So if you guys want to see a comparison between those two, let me know down below. But if your eyes are set on the 11 Pro and you feel like you don't need 5G, this phone is a definite recommend in 2021. I don't think it's going to be a bad phone whatsoever. But you got to really like what and know what you're getting here, because there are other iPhones that are newer, like the 12 mini and 12, that come in at a very similar price point. So thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and let us know your experience with the 12 Pro if you have one, and what you think about picking one up in the comments below to help people out. I will catch you all in the next episode. Have a great day. Nick here, and peace.